You are now listening to the fastest show on iSports Radio. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr. Welcoming you to another lap of the extra mile for today, March 31st, 2022. We got a brand new F1 race coming to the calendar next year, and NASCAR is heading into its into its short track schedule. Yes, Bristol also counts as a short track race, even if it's a dirt track race. You know, that argument's going on Twitter. But we're going to talk about it, and to help me talk about it, of course, are my co-hosts, Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, but why was that an argument?
Why wouldn't it be
Twitter,
an argument?
Michael. It's Twitter. Everything's an argument. Like
this is why I don't go on this website.
Like the slap heard around the world. But anyway.
Everyone, I know I have some fans on Twitter. I'm sorry. I hate this website with a passion sometimes, so I don't get on it like that. I apologize.
Michael, if you need to know about the internet, there is a worldwide debate whether there are more wheels or doors.
See, I don't go on that part of Twitter. I don't know what part of Twitter you're on, Chris.
That's more TikTok.
Who cares about that?
See, I just started my descent into TikTok. I finally broke down and got a TikTok this week.
Well,
wait. Man, he's
just
done
wait.
He's done for.
Yes, there is a raging debate on whether there are more wheels in on this planet or doors on this planet.
Who cares?
I think it's more of the hypothetical fun of thinking it.
I mean, I guess, but
it's the great philosophical debate of our time.
It's what was it? Blue dress, gold dress, or what were the two colors?
Blue dress and gold dress, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I remember that.
It's I think it's just that again. Every now and then the internet just needs to break.
I think the internet just needs to debate about something, honestly.
They do.
Yep.
Anyway, enough about that. We are here to talk about motorsports.
That's right. Chat's starting to get populated. If you want to join us, of course, and you're live, you want to give us a message, just type it in the chat. We'll read it out on the air. Taryn just said he's not getting a TikTok until it's required. And also, Twitter is not real life to his brother. I wish Twitter wasn't real life.
I'm certain Twitter is a simulation.
Yeah. Well,
life
let's actually talk about
life's a simulation.
Real life
I agree
with
you.
the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Oh, the race
and unfortunately,
that happened.
Before we even get into the race, we have to reset the Formula One did a dumb timer back to zero.
What do you mean by that?
I don't even know where to begin this time. For those of you that saw Friday practice, you would have noticed that during the practice, there was smoke coming from about 6 miles away at a Aramco oil plant. Yeah. Well, that plant was struck by a terrorist attack during the first practice of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Formula One decided to continue the weekend when everyone and their mother was screaming for the sport to pick up sticks and leave. We know why they didn't stay. Why they stayed. The money, as we were talking about in our group chat on Friday. And it's just another one of the situation where the sports washing of Formula One again bites them in the butt. Because they've decided to basically take the Bernie route and put a race anywhere where they're writing checks, and they've become Formula Dictator.
Okay, so after that missile struck, I really think they should have went ahead and stopped the race.
Here's the thing, though, and obviously everybody in the know are vehemently denying this, but it has been suggested that the Saudis may have put out there the difficulty in leaving the country.
They weren't going to let them leave.
This is a WWE 2018 or 19, I believe it was.
I think it was 2018. It was the first Crown Jewel event.
Yeah. So I don't really think that Formula One had a choice in the matter.
So
I think they could have, but it would have been troublesome.
All our teams and drivers basically were held hostage and forced to race.
Yes.
As
That is disgusting.
The rumor mill, it's an unconfirmed rumor, but that is what has been suggested.
It's a big enough rumor that you can't ignore.
Yeah. And of course, smartly, whenever the media asked anybody associated, they all denied it, which of course you have to do.
Yeah.
That's called self-preservation. But I remember they asked Gunther Steiner specifically about it, and he's just like, I don't want to comment. He didn't say no. He said, I don't want to comment.
Mm-hmm.
But you could, in post-race, and I know that you did not watch the race, Daryl, but post-race, Lewis Hamilton, when they talked to him, he basically just said, I want to go home. That was the extent of his post-race interview. I just want to go home now.
And we're going to get into his weekend because it just seems like everything went downhill after Friday. Do you think, however that meeting went and whatever they were told in that meeting could have played a part in how his race went?
I think that is an easy scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Because George Russell finished P4, which I think he actually finished P4.
P5. Sergio was 4.
Okay, yep.
Poor Sergio.
But I mean, and this is something that the three of us were kind of talking about in the pre-show before we came on air. Mercedes and Mercedes power units are not hot this year. Just by any stretch of the imagination, you cannot say that they are competitive at this point. So Lewis may have been distracted, but I do not think that it affected his on-track performance, which at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that Lewis is pretty good about separating off and on-track mentalities. He might have felt a little defeated, but at the end of the day, I think Mercedes is I think they're running George and Lewis on different setups, trying to see what works. And unfortunately for them, I don't think that they're any closer than they were last week in Bahrain.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if they bring any parts to Australia, which is next week, and then they'll get another break and come back to Italy before heading over to this side of the world for the Miami Grand Prix. We're going to start seeing whatever upgrades are put in the factory, probably here with Australia, which we're finally going to race this year. And to just jump ahead in the story a little bit, Lewis finished 10th on the day, which he didn't even realize got a point because it's been a long time since Lewis Hamilton has finished 10th. But back to wearing out the F1 brass. There was an article that came out today on motorsport.com that basically said Formula One has a duty to race in Saudi Arabia to try and change the culture. This race is not going to change the culture. Don't lie to me like that. Y'all are staying there because you're getting $1 billion check every year and you don't want to pay the legal fees. Just tell the truth.
You'd earn a lot more respect amongst the, not even just the racing community, but the sports community and the world community as a whole. If you just said, look, the oil money is too much to pass up, and for the survival of the sport, it's what we need. And at the end of the day, people would say, you know what, we get it.
We don't like it, but we get it. But the lying and we're going to do these initiatives. No. They're going to go right back to what they were doing as soon as, probably the moment they packed up and left. They went right back to what they were doing. That's what all these governments do. They feel having the race is legitimacy for what they're doing. That's why they want them there. And on Formula One, as long as you're going to write the big enough check, they're going to do it. And it's unfortunate, but that is how the sport works. I mean, it's run on money, and people complain because we're going to Las Vegas. They're like, "Oh, the sport's just predicated on money." Have you seen the ticket prices for this sport? Have you tried to buy a ticket?
Have you ever went on the store?
You figured it out.
Have you ever went on the store? It's an
expensive sport.
And tried to buy a T-shirt?
Yeah.
A T-shirt, a hat, a sticker thing to go on your car.
I went on there to look for an AlphaTauri book bag, and I said, no.
I've got my Max Verstappen sweatshirt that you guys have seen, just like the orange one with the 33 on it and stuff. That was $120.
Yeah, no.
Excuse me?
For just a hoodie. Yeah. I mean, I paid it, but yeah, I mean, like a nice polo that like all the team principals wear, for Red Bull and Mercedes, you're looking at least $75 American for it.
I'm looking at it right now.
For a polo.
This is the Mercedes this year's team polo.
$90.
The white one's $70, and the black one, it says $89. It might as well be $90.
Correct.
This
the Red Bull the Red Bull's $90. The 2022 Red Bull is $90.
Because they won the championship.
Correct.
Also, you can get this with 15% off on the official F1 store. Let us kill the illusion right now this sport isn't about anything but money. It's been that way for 40 years.
I just want an AlphaTauri hoodie.
I know. I really like the AlphaTauri. Like, I love the colors, and I love I
love the team in general.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean their hoodie only goes for $105. I say only.
Yeah.
Yuki's had a rough start to the season too.
Yeah.
Yes.
No surprise there.
AlphaTauri hasn't. I would say AlphaTauri as a whole has been okay.
Okay, like one last one, and then we're going to get into the actual race. Do you want to know what the team polo price for Ferrari is?
Oh God, don't even tell me.
Just the polo for this year.
How much?
Hold on, can we play an over under?
I'm going to give you over under 80.
Over for sure.
It's Ferrari, so over.
Yeah, way over. It's $95.
No,
I'm good.
Just okay. So hear me out. What's Haas running right now?
I can go.
Right?
Can I get it for $20?
They should be. They should be offering those for $9.99 and free shipping.
If Haas is over $50, I'm gonna be upset. Your search for Haas did not match any products.
They're not even on there.
Well, they probably pulled everything down because of their sponsorship.
Oh crap! They're not on here.
No, they're legit not even on the website.
They're legit not on the website. I'm looking at it right now. They're not in the shop by team list.
Oh my god!
Yeah, probably because of the sponsorship. Everything said Eurocali on it.
Right. They made a bunch of Eurocali gear. Now they can't sell it.
Yep.
For $46, you can get a Fernando Alonso model helmet.
Oh, can they sell any gear right now? Oh, wait, no, because Nikita's not a part of the team anymore. But anyway, the whole rant is people complaining that the sport's predicated about money. Where have you been all of my life? That's just what they do. We just have to accept it.
You know what else is predicated on money? Your internet providers, Walmart, wherever, literally anything you see is predicated on money.
I don't want to get distracted by this. I'm totally going to get distracted by this. Let's see what the ticket prices for the Miami Grand Prix is. I always like doing this when the United States Grand Prix come around. Vegas is going to be... I'm going to put it over under $2,500 per ticket.
Now, did you guys see that they're already talking about a fourth U.S. date?
Where?
Washington, D.C. Let's go. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Nope. The Big Apple, New York City.
They've been trying to get there for years, and it just doesn't happen. Okay, so all the tickets are sold out, so I can't actually even tell you what the prices are. But the price range in euros is $374 to $1,000. So,
Yeah,
All right, here's what the extra mile needs to do. We just need to get general admission and just walk around the track and act like nothing happened.
I don't think they have a general admission. Oh, no, that was the wrong race. That's the USGP. Hold on. I meant the Miami Grand Prix. It's coming up in May. That price is not up. Oh, it's sold out on F1. So I can't even tell you because the tickets are all gone. Anyway.
They should have them up there even though the tickets are all gone, though.
I know, like, right? It would make this a lot easier. But anyway, let's talk about the actual race. And while I'm on this ticket thing, I guess, Chris, I'll throw it to you first. The battle at the end between Leclair and Verstappen was absolutely incredible.
It really was. And, I mean, even if you throw it back to last week as well, or, however you want to say it, but Bahrain, I mean, Verstappen and Leclerc put on a smaller version of this battle, but every bit as good, right? What we're seeing is that with this new aero package, these guys, obviously it used to be back in the day, you'd get your DRS, you'd blow by, and then you were gone. A couple corners later, bye, see you later. Yeah. But now these guys are hanging together. When Verstappen would pass Leclerc, he's right there in the next DRS zone. And it's just cat and mouse. And I think that from a competitive standpoint, if you take away the rest of the weekend, which, Michael, did you watch this week?
Yes.
So I think you would agree with me that if you take away the off-the-track stuff, we have seen especially between Leclerc and Verstappen, we have seen everything we want to see out of this new package.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. This car is great. This car is really good.
I'll agree with that to a point, but I'll let y'all continue.
And something that I know that you guys want to withhold judgment on, but seeing Verstappen and Leclerc, who are childhood enemies, to put it nicely,
karting rivals, F3 rivals.
Those two are racing. The last two races, those two have been as clean as Mr. Clean to each other. I mean, it really, and I guess as our in-house Verstappen fan, and it seems like every podcast, F1 podcast, does have an in-house Verstappen fan, so it's not just us. But seeing him run clean is like a relief for me because I can come on here and be like, guess what, guys? We won. It was completely clean. There was nothing done dirty. It was just good, clean racing. And last year, I could not say that very much with the exception of Monaco. And that was just because, obviously, Monaco is Monaco.
Yeah.
So it's this clean max has been really nice to see, and I think the rest of the paddock will appreciate that as well.
I think this Max Verstappen has it's only been 2 races, but I think like this version of Max Verstappen is like my favorite to watch because it's the world champion Max Verstappen. He's showing what it takes to defend this title, and I've liked Max Verstappen for a while, but he's always had the Kyle Busch effect on me, where it's like I like him until he starts talking.
Yeah.
If he can keep racing like this, I think it'll draw back some of those folks that are absolutely pissed about how last year went to this day. You're not going to get all of them, but I mean, you'll get some of them back.
Honestly, I'm over it because they kind of got the karma in Bahrain. So I'm honest. There. No, I'm honestly over it. They deserve that, so I'm good now. I'm not even mad about it anymore.
So I wasn't able to drop back on my little ticket spiel because I want to make this point any chance I get.
Mm-hmm.
I did manage to find the tickets for the. Give me a minute. The Formula One Rolex Gran Premio made in Italia di Emilia Romagna 2022.
Say that 4 times over real fast.
No.
Say it once fast.
Yeah, I don't know why they made this name so long. Just call it the San Marino Grand Prix.
It's because they're Italian.
You're not wrong, Chris.
It's just the second Italian Grand Prix, but the grandstand A prices on the starting grid, $1,000 per ticket.
Yep.
Good night.
I bought a weekend trip to the NHRA race in Richmond coming up this weekend, or coming up next month. And you'll see a lot of that on our Twitter. For that price. That's tickets and hotel.
Yeah, F1 is an extremely expensive thing to get into.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, up here at IMS at Watkins Glen, they pay you $40 and give you a $20 food voucher to come watch the race.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously?
Yeah. You guys,
Wait,
I need to get to the 6 hours of the Glen.
Seriously?
I'm kidding. They don't do that, but
Bro!
but that's like the value. That's like the
You got our
value
hopes
you
up
get,
for
though.
nothing.
Oh
I'm sorry.
my God.
Come
I
on.
was about to
You
buy
really think
tickets
they're
to-
about? You really think they're going to hand you $40 in cash and a $20 food voucher to come watch
I
a
would have
race?
loved IMSA
Please.
even more than I already do if they did that.
I mean, like 100 folks go to okay, I'm not going to say 100 folks, but
Okay, relax.
IMSA, you know, I can't even say that. IMSA's pretty well attended and populated, so you're right. I can't even say that, but you know, the Formula One thing, this is what I wanted to get into with that battle, by the way.
But
Before I forget.
for real, I'm sorry, Daryl, but it is like $50 and you literally get like everything. You can walk
that's
right
not
up
bad.
and you could pee on the car tires if you wanted to.
So
I'm just
we're
saying.
Going, which reminds me, Miriam and I are going to, and for those of you who don't know who that is, it's my lovely girlfriend for coming up on 11 years now.
Woohoo.
Don't ask when the wedding date is unless you got money to help pay for it.
I mean, I will.
I'm finally taking her to her first NASCAR race
Oh, boy.
in August, and the whole thing was like $349, and that's
Where
for
you going?
2 tickets. Richmond. We're going to go see the Federated Auto Parts 400. That's tickets at the start finish line and tickets to the fan ground.
You should
To put the
reschedule.
ticket price in perspective.
You should reschedule and come to the Bristol night race with me.
I would, but I already took the leave.
Oh,
I like.
fair enough.
Did you hear the disappointment in his O?
I heard it, but anyway, so Formula One's going to be on a break, and then they'll be back in the name that is too long to say next week. But we do have news on races. F1's going to Vegas. Yes, Formula One is going to Las Vegas in 2023 on Thanksgiving weekend.
Too bad Daryl refuses to wake up and watch it.
We'll see. I mean, it's a year from now. I
You're
might
gonna-
just get some Red Bull and tough it out, but
Ooh.
Did you guys? Oh wow, he's getting Red Bull.
I mean,
To be fair-
that's the
to be fair,
only
though-
energy drink I like.
No.
So
I was gonna say, to
Oh,
be
no,
fair,
he's a traitor.
it's the only good flavored energy drink there is.
No,
Yeah.
no. Have you guys heard of the critically acclaimed energy drink, Rich Energy?
oh god, I
I've-
still want to try. I want to find that so bad.
I thought you were gonna say like Bang or something like that.
No. The critically acclaimed energy drink, Rowdy.
I
like
saw
Rowdy.
that at a 7-Eleven up here.
I
Oh,
I
right.
actually really like Rowdy. I like the peach mango. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to. I don't do energy drinks more than like a couple times a year, but I might try that tomorrow just to see what it tastes like.
The peach mango is definitely the best.
Okay.
The green apple is disgusting. Do not get green apple.
Okay. So we're
That's my
going
advice.
into, and I know I'm being called a traitor because I know Lewis has Monster Energy as a sponsor, but I've actually never had a Monster. No, I've had Monster once. It was alright.
Monster isn't bad, but it has so many flavors.
Ugh, it's gross.
It's too many flavors. But anyway, enough energy drink talk for. Actually, yeah, enough energy drink talk for now. Oh, the energy drink is going to be important because they're starting the Las Vegas Grand Prix at 10 p.m.
Eastern
West
time
Coast time.
or West Coast, yeah.
So that's a 1 a.m. start time on the East. I cannot wait to see those ratings numbers from the East on the Tuesday after that race.
Can you imagine staying up to watch that race and you got work at like 6 a.m.?
Well, it's on Saturday night.
It's on Saturday night. If you got to work 6 a.m. on a Sunday, I salute you. Because you're a better person than I. But
hey, man, some people need those hours.
That's true.
Are y'all going to stay up for... I think Chris is a yes. Michael,
Absolutely.
are you going to try to stay up for it?
I watch endurance racing. What do you think?
Good point. We do watch the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I'm going to try, but I'm probably going to fall asleep. Unless I get like an energy drink or something.
I'm going to blow up your guys' phones.
See, my phone, I have to take my phone off of Do Not Disturb. But it sounds like one of those things where you like go to sleep early, get like a 4-hour nap. Like you're in a driving stint in the Rolex 24. You go to sleep for 4 hours, get up, watch the race, go back to bed.
Yeah. But I hope that race is fun though.
It should be. I know there's been talk about the track being boring. To those that are saying that, we said the same thing about Azerbaijan. And look at what that track has turned into.
Yeah, you can't just say like these tracks are like not going to be fun, honestly, until you actually see them. Because, like you said, Azerbaijan was surprising. Bahrain was a track I thought was going to be boring. Now it's one of my favorite tracks ever. So you really got to let certain tracks just iron out for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what we didn't even talk about? And Daryl, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Mick Schumacher had a nasty wreck.
Yeah, we didn't get into that just yet, but oh my God, I saw that.
Yeah, that wreck was scary.
If you guys
I was watching that real time too. And I was actually texting you guys, and their coverage, it was like at least 5 minutes. They were showing like the Haas garage, and you could see everybody. It was Brian Newman Daytona, is what it was.
I caught
People
the replay
were
of
not
that.
sure what to think.
I caught the replay of that. For those that didn't see it, turn 10, Schumacher got up on the rumble strip, the car overcorrected, and he hit the wall like a Mack truck. That's the only way to explain it. I think they recorded the G-forces at 33 Gs. Thankfully, he was okay. The car was absolutely destroyed, and they didn't even bother trying to put it back together.
And that was not a safer barrier or anything like that. That was straight up like
in the wall.
Because they said like that. And I mean, when you see it, you can understand why they didn't anticipate anybody would ever hit that.
And that's why I don't really like the track. Is fun to watch, but for safety reasons, I cannot like the track.
I have a question. Why does F1 not use safer barriers?
They really should use safer barriers.
They should. Probably because it's American, if I'm being honest.
I mean, they save lives over here. They save lives over here.
They would be that. Let's keep it a buck. They would be that snooty. They would absolutely be that snooty.
And it will take an issue like a Grosjean, but in a much worse turnout is what it's going to take for them to switch.
It's going to take another Jules Bianchi.
Let's not.
I'm just being real. It's going to take another Jules Bianchi for them to catch up with the soft wall thing. You'd think it would have caught off after Hubert died, but who knows?
Oh my God!
Or even the
safer barriers. That is it. Freaking.
I mean, even with Grosjean, I mean that was an avoidable accident with a better barrier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're looking at a prime example 2 years ago, and they still haven't made the change.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, NASCAR was slow to make changes safety-wise until... And people say senior for NASCAR changed the safety game. It wasn't senior. It was when Blaze Alexander died later on that ARCA race in Charlotte that year. That's when they went to the Hans being mandatory. it wasn't mandatory after Senior died. A lot of people put it on, but
it's because they probably didn't really, as much as they did associate it with it, they could distance themselves from it too.
Yeah.
There was a touch of plausible deniability.
it's thankfully Mick is okay. They just, since they're going to Australia next week, they didn't want to try to repair the car. But that team, if you want to see a team that's been bit by the spending cap, in the last 2 seasons, €1.5 million or €2.5 million they've had to spend on crash damage, which is not taken out of the spending cap.
Are we talking about Haas?
Yeah, Haas.
Well, to be fair, they also have the lowest driver salary too.
True. So I guess that kind of evens out, but still, that damage. Carbon fiber ain't cheap, folks.
It most definitely isn't.
Yeah. So I can't imagine. And usually we'd go to a break, but the conversation's going way too well, so we're not gonna take a full break, but I will thank our sponsor, and that is the Socal Warriors. As the world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations, players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The Socal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance. If you love your sport, you may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. Check them out on Twitter at Socal Warriors, on Instagram and Facebook at Southern California Warriors. Thank you so much for Southern California Warriors for sponsoring IE Sports Radio and bringing you programming like this. So we're going to keep on going. Adam Karnick there in the chat saying, good evening, how's the racing in Sin City? Well, for the other tracks, it's usually great. We'll find out about Formula One next year. Speaking of which, we'll go into NASCAR now. That was an unintentional throwback. We had the racing at COTA this week, and as we said, I think to a man, we wanted to see this track have a second opportunity without a monsoon on the racetrack. We got that, and it was a really fun weekend of racing.
Oh, definitely. It was really fun to watch. Especially the last laps of the Cup race.
I was going to say, I only caught an hour of the Cup race, which was the last 4 laps.
The cautions were not that bad.
No, they weren't.
We still need to figure out local yellows.
We do, or we need to do a virtual safety car thing. I think that would be better. I don't know if NASCAR's ready to do that because they got enough judgment calls they got to make as it is. And I don't really want to add another one on them if someone is adhering to VSC or not. I mean, they half called the one corner they were doing track limits for. So, but at the same time, they do have to figure something out with the caution.
In the same way that the Europeans put their noses up to us, NASCAR's, well, whenever you suggest, because obviously with like Pockrass and all those guys, they answer questions from fans about localized yellows, and all the comments, this ain't Formula One, this is NASCAR.
Yep.
And it's just they don't understand the concept, and they're complete, and people are completely okay with a 30-minute caution that we run 3 laps in, and it's just mind-boggling.
I think all those cautions, the stage cautions should be quickie yellows. I think that'll speed it up. As far as the regular cautions, I kind of feel this, though. Anytime you have to put track personnel on the track, it should just be a full course. Minimum of VSC.
Yeah.
And maximum of full safety car. Like, I don't think you can just do a local yellow if you have to put somebody out there to push a stalled car. See what happened to Jules Bianchi. But But there's something that we can do, and I think NASCAR needs to figure it out, especially if we're going to run 6 of these a year.
Correct.
Correct.
And Daryl, I don't want to throw off topic and go back, but did you know that Charles Leclerc set the fastest lap time under a double yellow?
That's not something you're supposed to do.
That's not. And at the end of the race, the stewards investigated and they found nothing wrong with that. So, could you help me out with that?
I got something wrong with that. The double yellows are there for a reason, and if we're not going to enforce them, why do we have them? Because that should have at least deleted the lap, but whatever. I've stopped trying to figure out Formula One and how they do things in the stewards' room.
I feel like they play rock, paper, scissors for every decision.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
It really does.
Just
F1, the sport that's too expensive to make sense.
apparently. And another thing with NASCAR, why I like us going to COTA, it's one of the few races where the folks in Europe, outside of Matt White, actually pay attention. And the consternation they had with what happened on the last lap with AJ Allmendinger and Ross Chastain was absolutely hilarious. Between the no track limits and the bumping, you would have thought NASCAR had put on an affront to racing the way some of the folks were complaining. And all I could say was, welcome to boys, have at it. It's a self-policing sport. And if you rough somebody up, they're going to rough you up right back. And that's what happened there at the end. Unfortunately, Alex Bowman ended up being the unfortunate bystander and all that.
You guys might have heard me screaming as I was watching in real time, seeing what was happening, and then the inevitable, to quote Ralphie in A Christmas Story, fudge.
Yep.
But, yeah, do you guys know the 2 words to scare a NASCAR racer?
What?
2 words you can say. Track limits.
Yeah, we
Those
don't
are
do track limits here.
And what's funny is I was watching the race the whole time, and I was just like, man, how fun would this be if they just decided to do track limits? I mean, I know it would be boring, but it'd be funny.
The field would have a pass through.
Yeah. And I know that, like, there's a huge difference in acceleration and just the ability of the car. So enforcing those track limits would make a very boring race because it'd be very slow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, good God, a little something would be good.
There was a couple of corners where, okay, guys, to steal a British term, we're kind of taking the piss here on where that corner is.
Yeah.
I got to bring up the track map. Give me a minute, but there was a couple of corners. The corner after the long straightaway, I can't remember the turn number. That was definitely one of the ones where they were going just a little bit outside.
Yeah. So I guess talking last lap, what are you guys' thoughts on the lap as a whole? Particularly, was Ross Chastain justified? Did he go over did he cross a line? What are you guys' thoughts?
It's NASCAR.
Well, the same way they I'll kind of tie this into the whole Will Smith Chris Rock debate. When you mess around, sometimes you find out. And that's just what happened to AJ Allmendinger. He messed around in turn 16. He found out in turn 19. And unfortunately,
Yep.
Alex Bowman was a unfortunate bystander, but finished second. But I have no problems with what Ross Chastain did.
Nope.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, it's NASCAR. These things are gonna happen.
Oh, he was a dirty driver. He dumped him out the way. Blah, blah, blah. Folks, that doesn't even make the top 10 in NASCAR, great finishes of people that have been spun or moved out the way or run into at the end. Like, can we stop the pearl clutching every time someone makes contact with someone to win in this sport now? And I even have to go after my driver's car owner, Denny Hamlin, who has been fire on the tweets. But he was complaining about, well, this is how it goes with the new, with the new point system now. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Folks, we've been doing this since 1995 when Dale Earnhardt, or whenever that year was, it wasn't 95, but Dale Earnhardt Sr. rattled Terry Labonte's cage at Bristol Night.
Just rattled his cage a little bit.
It's just what we do here.
Now, and I think you guys will probably agree with what I'm about to say, but if that was Kyle Busch that Ross Chastain got booted by and then booted back, Ross Chastain would be a national hero.
Oh, there'd be statues to Ross Chastain in Alva, Florida right now.
Yeah. Correct. So it's just because everybody has this irrational love and adoration of AJ Allmendinger. And to be quite frank, I don't understand it. It's not that I dislike the guy. I just don't know why people put this guy on such a pedestal.
I kind of get it. So he kind of got a raw deal when he got kicked out of Penske when he accidentally took the Adderall pill, and that basically derailed his career. And he went on TV after that, showed his personality. Then he got hooked up with Colic Racing and all the... That team is just weird in a good way. I'll just say it. All the hilarious stuff they do over there, and he kind of grew on people. So I kind of get it, but trying to, villainize Ross Chastain for what happened there, no. That's just road course racing in NASCAR.
If we're talking raw deals, who has had more of a raw deal than Ross Chastain? The only person that I can think of that's had it worse is Brennan Poole.
Yep.
Yeah. And ironically...
Brennan Poole and Ross Chastain were screwed up in the same thing.
The exact same sponsor.
Yep. The DC Solar thing.
Wow.
But you know what I mean, though? Ross Chastain, people hold Allmendinger on this pedestal. But Ross Chastain loses, he shows you what he can do in a truck. He shows you what he can do in an Xfinity car. He gets a full-time gig in his part-time deal with Ganassi, he gets a win, right? I have the race win diecast downstairs. Then he gets a full-time ride with Ganassi. The deal falls through because of DC Solar's deal.
Yep.
Right?
I think that was in January that the feds raided them, wasn't it?
Yeah, December, January.
Yeah, and to catch people up quickly on what happened there, DC Solar, they were sponsoring races, cars, tracks. They were supposedly a solar panel company selling these portable solar panels. Most of them were fake. They got raided by the feds, and the CEO is going to jail for 30 years.
So what they were doing is they were renting these portable solar lights and then selling them. And then they'd rent more and return those to the company that they rented the lights from. And it was just a big old circle. But so Ross Chastain, after he loses his deal, he goes on the Dale Jr. Download and has one of the best episodes of the Dale Jr. Download I've ever heard. Talks about everything, right? And so, but people vilify Ross Chastain to this day. And if it's the underdog story that everybody likes, the dude's a watermelon farmer, right? Who's made it to the top series of North American motorsports. What more do you want out of an underdog story than Ross Chastain?
I mean, he is the blue-collar American prototypical NASCAR driver. I mean, during the off-season, he went back to the watermelon farm. That's where he was until it was time to go to California. He goes back there, works the farm during the week, and goes racing during the weekend. Like, few drivers do that. Our NHRA team favorite here at the show, Matt Hagan, is really one of the only other ones I can think of. Like, he is what everyone says they want NASCAR drivers to be. Yeah, he's got a little bit of that aggressive edge to him, but isn't that what we want to see out of NASCAR?
Yeah. Well, I do anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so, yeah, but I guess as far as my thoughts on what he did, I thought he was 100% justified. And if he does not take that opportunity, does he have and he doesn't win this year, does he have a ride next year at Trackhouse? Debatable. Yeah. Does he have a ride at Trackhouse next year right now? Absolutely.
He absolutely has a ride. And on the other side of that with Trackhouse, one, I love what this team has been doing. Two, what does Daniel Suarez have to do to find some luck? Because it should have been a Trackhouse 1-2 today, on Sunday, but he got into unfortunate issues, got spun on one of the restarts and lost a tire, ended up finishing back in the pack, and Suarez is going to get one this year. I absolutely believe now that both those cars will be in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, just to contrast that, I mean, 2311 is not making the impact that we thought that they would. But last year, I mean, 2311 was significantly better than Trackhouse towards the end of the year. I think towards the beginning of the year, I think we'd all agree they were on pretty level ground as far as running pace and finishing order. But Trackhouse has really stepped it up this year. I don't know if it's the Ganassi, taking over the Ganassi program, and they were probably obviously making strides towards this car, and they kind of bought that IP, so to speak. So it's just interesting to see how Trackhouse has come out swinging this year. I mean, Ross Chastain's average finish has to be in the top 10. I mean, this dude's finished second 2 or 3 times, third once, first once. I mean, Ross Chastain is putting together a very solid year.
Well, the one thing that's helping is that Chevrolet package, which was awful the last couple of years, is a lot better this year with the next gen car. Toyota's got some issues with their car they need to work out, obviously. But the other side of it, there have been too many gosh darn mistakes with the 23. If it's not setup issues, it's tires coming off. They had 3 freaking loose wheels that cost them booties out 4 weeks. The 2 crew members that were changing the tire are out. Thank God. Put them on a bus back to their hometown. I'm about to get on my soapbox because I'm at this point furious at how this team has been running.
Daryl's on the floor, guys. Give him space.
I need people over there to step it up when it comes to this gosh darn 23 car. And that a little of that obviously goes to Bubba as well because he's driving the car. But the setup's got to be better. However they're constructing the car, everything's got to be better, okay? Every time I have to go on a social media post with Bubba, I have to read, and I don't have the explicit tag on, so I'm going to try not to curse. I have to read the most bigoted, racist crap about Bubba, which did not start, by the way, until people realized, oh yeah, he's half black when he started stepping up for black issues. Then y'all had a problem with him. Then he was only here because of his race. Then it was only here because NASCAR was going woke. You didn't care. You didn't have a problem with it. We was running 25th for a petty team that hasn't been relevant since 2001. Back then, he was the underdog. Then he started speaking about issues of people that look like me and Michael, and all of a sudden y'all had a problem with them. But this team has got to be better. There are expectations on that team. Bubba's got to win another race that's not a rain shortened. event. That's not his fault what happened in Talladega, but they will not let it go if he doesn't. There's a saying, Michael knows this saying, his parents probably told it to him. When you're black, you have to be twice as good as anyone else to be compared to be just as good as them. It's an unfortunate stereotype that exists to this day. Bubba can't just be average. He's got to be exceptional. And the team that is working for him has to be exceptional. Because the longer this goes on, of the middling results, the more crap folks that look like me have to deal with going into this sport. And it's been a problem the last couple of years.
It's already about to start with Roger Cruz.
I can't wait till Saturday. I'm just not going to be on Twitter that day.
I'm already seeing comments like, why does he get an Xfinity ride?
Yeah, we got to deal with stuff like this. That team's got to be better. And I love Booty Barker, but if we got to kick him out and get another crew chief, do it. Keep fixing the parts till you find something that works. Because this cannot continue. They can't slow roll it at this point. They got to start building up towards top 10s. And if Booty can't do it, find somebody that can. I love him. I think he's been a great influence on Bubba Wallace and trying to keep him calm. 15th ain't going to do it. 22nd ain't going to do it.
Yeah, that 23 needs to be up there with the 45.
They got to figure it out. I mean, the 45 hasn't been up there either. But that's more back with the Toyota thing. But they got to fix this car. They got to figure his stuff out. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do it. Now the roulette box.
Well, you okay? You need some ice water there?
I think I'm good, but I think we might have a tornado warning, so we might have to cut this a little bit early.
Oh, man.
Because we got some pretty bad storms coming through right now. So let us go ahead, go through nearest the wind, and then we're going to get out of here so I can get to safety.
Mm-hmm.
So let me try and pull up our chat. So last time we picked Coda. And we picked Jeddah. Obviously, we don't have... I think we just have NASCAR this week.
I was going to say, I think it's just NASCAR.
So for COTA, we have... I lost it again. Anyways, you guys go ahead and pick who you think's going to win at Richmond this week, and I'm going to get up who we had win last week.
So I'm going to pick Bowman to go back-to-back at Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
And though he did not win on Merritt last time, he backed into it with a last-minute restart. I still think that the Chevrolet camp, even if it's not Bowman, the Chevrolet camp wins. Yeah. But I'm going Bowman.
Just Chevy has something good going on.
Toyota has struggled, but I will say Truex has won here 3 of the last 5. I think he makes it 4 out of the last 6. Truex wins on Sunday.
I'm going to go with Hamlin.
Okay. So, folks, thank you so much. Usually we go through a much larger spiel as far as the end of the show, but we do have tornado warnings moving here into Prince George's County. So I will say we do have the March Madness tournament coming up. You want to get your picks into into Let's Wine _IESR. You're picking all 32 picks of the first round of the draft. No trades, anything of that nature. Also, check out the Patreon and our website, iesportsradio.com, and our social media at iesportsradio.com on Twitter and Instagram. And also the show Twitters as well. Thank you all so much for listening. For Chris and Michael, I'm Daryl. This has been The Extra Mile. We will see you at the next green flag. Good night, everyone.